Okay, folks, let me remind you once again, turn off your cell phones. Please either put them on vibrate or turn them off, and so that we don't have that distraction. Also, no video in here. You can get the video off our common feed. No flash photography, please. We'll start off, introduce the coaches, and then we'll have a statement from each of them, and then we'll open it up for questions. When we do, please ask to be recognized. We'll get Emily or Kaylee, we'll get a mic to you, and give us your name, your affiliation, and to whom you're directing the question. First in this session, Pat Casey, the head coach of the Oregon State Beavers, 49-10-1 on the season. Hank Hager is your SID. Hank, are you in here? There he is in the back. Beavers, the number 3 national seed, winners of the Corvallis Regional and Super Regional, 7th College World Series appearance, and of course champions in 06 and 07. Mike Fox, North Carolina, the Tar Heels were 43-18 this year. TJ Scholl is their baseball SID. TJ, are you in here? Okay, yeah, hanging out together, huh? Tar Heels were the number 6 national seed and winners of the Chapel Hill Regional and Super Regional, and this is their 11th CWS appearance. Gary Henderson of Mississippi State, the Bulldogs 37-27 on the season. Andrew Piper is their baseball SID. Are you in the your crew too? Okay. Bulldogs won the Tallahassee Regional, in which they were the number 2 seed, and then won the Super Regional at Nashville. This is their 10th College World Series appearance. And Lindsey Meggs, the head coach at Washington. The Huskies were 35-24 this year. Brian Tom, all together. Huskies won the Conway Regional, in which they were the number 3 seed, and then won the Super Regional at Fullerton. And this is their first CWS appearance. Let's start off with an overview statement. Pat, would you go first, please?
Well, first of all, congratulations. I know how difficult it is to get here, not only the coaches that are up here now, but those on the other side of the bracket. I'm honored to represent Oregon State University. I'm thankful for the players that continue to give me a vacation here in Omaha. They're the ones that actually play the game and make this thing work, and I give them all the credit. And it's what the city of Omaha, what the committee, and all those around this championship event do is phenomenal, and there's never a year I've been here where I haven't thought that. So I appreciate, thank you from all of us.
Mike?
Yes, we're unbelievably excited to be back here. I concur with Pat. You know, your kids, they give us a ride as coaches, and this team has done that for me and our staff, a special group. I'm happy for them. And you know, the city of Omaha, it's a special place for sure. You can just feel it when you touch down here, and it's exciting to be back. And do congratulate the other coaches that are here. It's always been difficult to get here, but it's even harder and harder. So I'm feel very blessed to be here with my club.
Gary?
It's hard to get here, and I appreciate it a lot getting here. I got to give a lot of credit to our kids. They jumped on board. We've obviously had a very unique experience that you're all familiar with. Our families got on board. Tremendous appreciation of our fan base. They travel with us. They're there every step of the way. It's been a great ride for us. Really, really appreciate my assistant coaches and what they were allowed me to do, and appreciate our kids a lot. And we're really excited to be here.
And Lindsey?
I want to congratulate all the coaches that are sitting here today, and the other 4 that are on the other side of the bracket. We're the new kids in town, so we're experiencing everything for the first time, and I don't know that our feet have touched the ground yet, but we're really excited to be here. We're grateful to everybody at the University of Washington who has helped us get to this point. It's been a long time coming for our program, and a lot of hard work, and I want to personally thank the people behind the scenes who don't get the attention that we do, but from the academic folks to all the alums that have believed in us and pushed hard enough to get us here. And like I said, we're grateful to be here, and we're really excited to start playing.
Okay, once again, please let us know who you are. We'll start back here with Eric. There's the mic.
Eric Olson with the Associated Press. Just wanted to see if I could run down the line and have each of you say who your starter is going to be tomorrow.
Pat, would you begin?
Luke Heinrich.
Gianluca Delatri.
Ethan Small.
Joe Demers.
Questions won't all be that easy. Right up
Thank
here
you,
in
guys.
front.
And go of the Oregonian for Pat. You have a core group of veterans that have been very successful. Has there been something about this group that set them apart and allowed them to have that kind of success?
Well, you know, obviously, being veterans, that's one of the keys. Some of these kids obviously been here 3 years, some of them 4. Just talking about that today, I think we got 7 kids graduating, and we're going to have to put a little ceremony on them here because we were in finals week last week. So I think we had a lot of kids that have returned, good on-the-field leadership, certainly talented young men when they came. But, you know, a lot of guys that like to do it the way we like to do it.
Okay, next question. Okay, here in the back. There he is.
Okay, Bill Steckis, Fox 42 here in town, and this is for Pat Casey. Just thinking forward to Sunday. It's kind of featurey, but you've got Joe here, John here, Brett back in 09. To have your boys here and a father and son type of sport and that big day to celebrate Father's Day with them, what does that mean to you, just simply?
Well, first of all, that's the greatest question I've ever been asked. Thank you. You are my champion. I got to spend Father's Day here with my dad a couple times, and he's not here this weekend. But, you know, being a coach, I think everybody would tell you that there's times you don't get to experience some things with your children that you wished you had. When I was first started coaching, I missed a lot of time with those guys. And I am absolutely blessed. You know, I can't thank the Lord enough for gifting me with a wife and children. And I don't know if I could tell you how much it means to me, so I'll just leave it at that. But thank you for the question.
Okay, Matt.
Matt Jones, Arkansas Democrat Gazette. For Coach Henderson, the SEC this year had the expanded replay, had the headsets. I wonder, did you like those? And are there any or all of that you would like to see expanded into the NCAA postseason?
You're talking about 2 separate things here with the catchers and then the expanded replay? Yeah, I liked them both. And I think that we should continue forward with both of them. And I think that we need to streamline the instant replay.
Okay, up here. Then you, Howard.
Bob Lundeberg, Corvallis is at Times. Gary, how cool is it for you to have 2 Oregonians, you know, sitting up there on the stage right now?
We got rid of him. We kicked him out. You know what?
Well, you know, most of the time when I get together with Case, it's laughter, which is, I think, hard for some people to quite understand, you know, when you're looking at us in this venue. But Case will tell you I have an outstanding sense of humor, and so does he. But it's awesome. You know, we spent one miserable year together, and then we spent 4 years getting better and putting something in place that he was been able to be really proud of and build on. And in a real small way, I feel a piece of that, and Case knows that. I've shared that with him before. But I'm an Oregonian, proud to be at Mississippi State, proud of every place I've ever coached, very proud to be at Mississippi State. But there's a part of me that I'll always be an Oregonian and really proud of what Case has been able to do.
Okay, Howard.
Howard Warden, KOTK Omaha. First of all, congratulations to the coaches and student athletes because it isn't easy to get here. I asked this question to the coaches this morning for all of you. Talk about the ballpark can play big sometimes, so the question is for all of you, talk about your outfield, what you like about it, the strengths, as far as how they help contribute defensively to help you win ball games.
Lindsay, let's start with you.
We've been on the field for 50 minutes, so we experienced the ballpark earlier today during batting practice, and that was really it. But we think we're pretty athletic in the outfield, and we think while we may not be the most athletic team in the group out there, it's the size of the ballpark's not going to hurt us. I think it'll help us, and we're able to put 3 guys out there at the end of the game if we want to pitch and play defense to finish, that we'll be comfortable with. So we're not afraid of it. We think it might work for us, and we'll watch every inning of the first game tomorrow and see how the wind's blowing and go from there.
Gary?
I agree with what Lindsey said, a lot of that. We're athletic in the outfield. We've got an extremely good center fielder. We run well in the corners. I'll be interested to see how it plays early in the day tomorrow. The wind was coming in pretty good today. Ball got out down the left field line. Other than that, it was pretty tough. You're going to have to find a balance of how deep you want to play in a big ballpark, and that's you got to find that balance so you don't get beat in front a bunch.
Mike?
Yeah, we we like our 3 outfielders. They all 3 can run a little bit, and you're going to need that out here. Probably. The ballpark is what it is, and it's going to be interesting to see certainly how it plays. We've seen it a number of ways since we've been out here, but outfield play is extremely important here, and I agree with Gary. Where you play your outfielders and how deep and how shallow is going to be a factor. I would think.
Pat?
Yeah, we're just going to play this. The 3 guys we play all the time, and I guess we rotate a little bit in left, but it is what it is, and the wind doesn't blow quite as much as it does when, in Corvallis. Like it's apparently going to blow tomorrow, so we'll see.
Okay, next question. Okay, Mitch, over here.
Mitch Sherman, ESPN.com. Pat and Mike, because of your experience in this event in particular, can you share any memories or enduring moments that you have of Augie Garrido in this year, this first CWS after his passing? And what, Pat, I know your first CWS was his last championship as a coach, so maybe start with that. And Mike, I don't know if you have memories of your encounters with him here in Omaha.
Pat?
Yeah, my first trip to the College World Series was '05, and Texas won it, and I actually sat right next to Augie in this format, and he said that the people in Texas believe the season starts in Omaha. I kind of laughed about it because it was my first trip there. I was fortunate. I was a player in a regional that Augie was a coach. I did an ESPN spot with Augie in 2008 here. And then last year, I'm walking into the hotel, and there's a guy sitting on the bench right outside the door in street clothes, and it's Augie. And I said, Augie, what the heck are you doing here? He said, I'm wishing what you were doing. But he said, I'm here to speak to a Little League team. I said, wow. So I got to see Augie last year in the College World Series. So obviously his record and what he stands for speaks for itself.
Mike?
Yeah, I was fortunate to coach against Augie out here. I did not know him personally, but was somewhat in awe of him and his legacy and what he had done. I mean, he's one of the icons in our profession, and unbelievable respect for him. So it was an honor for me at the time. I wish I had been able to spend more time with him.
My first introduction to Augie was in 1984 at Fresno at the regional. Back then there was 32 teams. It was a 4-team regional, and we beat them. The game I started, we beat them. It wasn't because of me, but we ended up winning late. And then the next day we lost in either 10 or 11, and they got to go to Omaha and win it, and we went home. That was my first introduction, and before that I had played with some kids from Cal State Fullerton the previous summer, and so I had a pretty good idea of, their feelings and their impression and their love of Augie. And then when I was at Chapman for 3 years, we would go over and we'd play Augie, and I got introduced to that. And of course, you learn a lot playing him quickly, and had a lot of respect for Augie, and it's spent some time with him through the course of the years, but not a lot.
I spoke to Coach Garrido in January. We were trying to get him lined up to speak at our first pitch dinner this coming February, and he was so great about his schedule and so great about the impact I thought he could make on our program and the families that attend that event. And you know, every time you're trying to line something like that up, there is typically a fee for a speaker, and there's typically travel issues, and I've got to have this at a hotel, I've got to have this type of flight. And he said, hey, all I need from you is a guarantee that your guys are going to listen, that I have a chance to make a difference, and that I can affect the people in the audience. And I think that's what's so great about Coach. I didn't know him well. We had met. I think he indulged me more than anything, because I wanted to pick his brain at times. But I was and I am still impressed by not just his coaching tree, but the type of game that everybody plays, whether they played for him or not or coached with him. It's all over college baseball, the style of baseball that he coached.
Okay, next question. Yeah, right here.
Brett Hudson with the Commercial Dispatch. Gary, very quickly, with Ethan starting Saturday, will Connor start on Monday?
Yes.
And how has Rowdy kind of grown into the two hole there? Because he's put there as an experiment, and he's stuck ever since.
Well, Brett, I would say that it's probably not an experiment. I think that what happens for all four of us, and I can't speak for all these guys, but sometimes you change your lineup because you have to. And we obviously early in the first half of the year we're moving a lot of things around, but I think by the time that he got to the spot where we could put him in the top of the order, he was competing at a really high level. And that batting average is jumped tremendously. And in terms of his impact, it's a competitive presence at the top, whether there's production or not.
Next question. Oh, come on, guys. Howard, don't raise your hand like that. Okay.
For all the coaches, again, George Horton, when he was at Fullerton, and he had a team here, we had a chance to talk a little bit about when he would know when the team was playing Titan baseball here at the World Series. Not only the kids on the field, but the guys in the dugout, everybody was like one. And he knew when they slowed the game down, and it was like really quintessential Titan baseball. How do you know, Pat and Mike and Gary and Lindsay, when your teams are in the groove, that they're playing the type of baseball that the coaches have taught them, and this is a big platform, and you're looking for them to playing this type of baseball?
Lindsay, you start this time, please.
I think for me, it's just the body language that they have. You can tell they're enjoying what they're doing, and there's very little fear. It's more about get the next guy up kind of mentality, and they're just enjoying the game the way they did when they were 12 years old. And you know, for us, first timers out here, I think that's a challenge for us, is to try to get guys to realize the game is the challenge and try to put all that other stuff aside and just try to enjoy the game between the lines, play as hard as they can. But when our guys are locked in like that, they're having fun and they're loose and they're enjoying each other.
Gary?
Well, you know, the biggest thing is that they've got to enjoy the experience. And we talk about that all the time. Enjoy the experience, make the most of it, be grateful for the opportunity. And Lindsay's right, and you see it in the joy in their face, you see it in their body language, you see it in the bounce in their step. You try to get them to understand this is a short window of life, and they need to embrace it and enjoy it. It'll be over soon enough for them, you know, whether it's in a week or 4 years or, you know, an extended career in the big leagues. There's going to be a lot of other things they can do in life, and while we're doing this, we need to enjoy it. And we've talked a lot about that, and I think for the most part, our kids have embraced it. But for everybody sitting here, I think I can speak for them. There are times when that game gets hard for those guys, and one of the biggest things that we can do is get them to enjoy it. And if they do, they play better.
Mike?
Well, I think I think each coach knows their team and knows their players and their personality. We're around them all the time. So if you're an experienced coach, you I mean, there's just, you can just feel it and you can see it. You want your kids to have the same personality, that they've had all year longer when you've seen them play it confident and loose. And, it has to be all of them together. I think that is a trick out here, is to do that. Just enjoy the moment and play the game, and not think about what's at stake. Just play. Easier said than done, but when you've been around your kids as long as we have, baseball is a long sport. We've all been with our kids not only for 2, 3, 4 years, but in particular this year since August. So you're around them all the time. So you can tell if something's bothering them or they're not enjoying the day. So it's the same thing in the dugout, I think.
Pat? Yeah, I probably wouldn't add anything to any of that. Most of the things that they said are probably accurate.
Okay. Next question, if any. Yeah, Eric.
Eric Olson, AP. Lindsay, Willie McIver said earlier in the week that, his feeling was that you guys are, quote unquote, playing with house money out here. I guess just how do you feel about that, and kind of what's your thoughts on how your guys will respond to being in this environment for the first time, just the personality of them?
It's hard for me to disagree with that statement because I don't think of all the teams that are here, I don't think too many people sitting in the audience today picked us to be here from the beginning of the season to even through the postseason. So with that in mind, I think that's more of a comment about maybe us believing that we belong and not many others embracing that. And Willie wears his emotions on his sleeve. He's one of those guys that is a high energy guy that loves to play, and our guys feed off of his energy and emotion. So like all these guys have done such a great job of, and that's why they've been here so many times, we as a staff have to find a way to reel our guys in and before they get on the bus to head over here to understand what the game plan is and to understand how we need to pitch people and what's the offensive plan going to be, because if we don't have that nailed down until we get off the bus and walk in the ballpark and experience all these things for the first time, I think we're going to be in trouble. So for us, that's the way we're going to approach it, and one pitch at a time and one inning at a time and see where it takes us.
Any more questions? Okay, here.
Haley Lewis with KZI in Oregon. Casey, this one's for you. In talking with the players after, they said that they basically set the goal to get to Omaha right after they fell out to LSU last year. Can you kind of talk about the road to Omaha and maybe if they did anything different this year? Because you were saying it's all on the players. They're the ones who got here. So could you tell us how they did it?
Well, I think that everybody starts working out early in September and they have goals, and I think Omaha's written on almost every college baseball batting cage in America and everybody's dream, and it should be. And, there isn't anybody that doesn't belong that gets here. That's the first thing, because they've earned their way here. And so, our guys felt like that they would need to work hard like they have. They need to be committed to one another like they were. And that thing needs to go your way. Ball needs to bounce your way. You need to get the breaks. Things have to happen. But I think really just a commitment to one another to get back. I think that our guys felt like that we maybe could have played better at the end of the tournament last year, that we didn't. And kind of odd that we got LSU at our regional. So, that helped spark them a little bit. But I just think a commitment to what each guy wanted, and that was the same goal, and that was to get back here.
Okay, any more questions for the group? Well, if not, we'll see you guys tomorrow.
Cool.
Good luck.
Thank you.